Wow, that was an experience for sure. So I just saw Infinity Pool. Infinity Pool stars Mia Goth and Alexander Skarsgård. Pretty much, how do I describe the movie? This movie is freaking weird as hell. Just insane. One of the craziest movies I've seen in a long time. It will be the craziest movie of the year. If it's not, I don't want to see that movie. The one that's going to beat it. Wow, let's talk about the good things first. Let's talk about Alexander Skarsgård. Somebody who has been just making leaps and bounds as far as showing off his acting range and potential. For a long time, I feel like everyone was like, oh, Bill Skarsgård's really good. Bill Skarsgård's great. And his brother's Tarzan. At least that's how it was for me. But then we got The Northman. He's fantastic in The Northman. And then we got this, and he's really good in it. He brings a lot to the roles. There's so many like different ranges of emotions that he has to portray, and I think he does a phenomenal job. And I think that's the best takeaway from this movie, is that Alexander Skarsgård, dude, can freaking bring it. I think he's yet to hit his prime, and I think he's just gonna get better and better. We're gonna see him in bigger and bigger roles going forward, and that's the best part, the biggest takeaway from this movie. Mia Goth is really good too. I want to see her play someone more normal because of these crazy psycho people she's playing. Yeah, I'm good. Where are you going, James? You big baby. Yeah, it's like that the whole entire time. This movie is, it's like if Ari Aster and Robert Eggers and Art the Clown all just smushed them all together and then times that by like 5, because there's a lot of disturbing stuff in this movie. Don't see it with your parents or your boyfriend, girlfriend. Don't see it with anybody, right? Those are the perfect conditions for this movie. Just don't see it with anybody. If you really want to see it, watch it by yourself. Actually, maybe that's weirder. Yeah, a lot of nudity in this one. A lot of just like things are contorting and getting bigger and smaller, and yeah, that's not for me. To be fair, I was dealing with one of the worst theater experiences I've had in a long time. These really annoying kids were behind me, and I kept giving them the Karen turnaround. I was like, oh, guys, stop it. I kept hitting them with that, so maybe I wasn't as engaged with the movie as I should have been. But once they got kicked out, shout out to Regal for kicking them out, by the way. But once they got kicked out and I was actually paying attention, I was fully engaged with the movie. Yeah, still not for me. This movie has to do a lot with clones, and I understand what it's doing, and there is an interesting premise in this movie. It has to do a lot with clones and the nature of clones, and how do you deal with the moral repercussions of you have this clone, and it kind of opens up who you want to be as the original. I got a lot of messages about the indulgence of rich and how just powerful and entitled they are, and how they can take advantage of lower class communities with all of their power and wealth. They can kind of just stomp around, and it is kind of sad to see these rich and powerful people just treat these more regular people as just like playthings. I understood that message and that theme, and like I said, I think the performances are cool, and I get what they were going for, but I think it just indulged itself way too much. Personally, it's one of those movies where I wouldn't want to watch it again because of one or two crazy explicitive scenes where I'm like, I'm good. I don't want to see that again. I can look at the movie and I can acknowledge that Alexander Skarsgård's fantastic, and Mia Goth is really good too, and the movie shot really well too. It's a good looking movie, but I think it kind of loses itself at one point, and it just falls down this rabbit hole, and it gets kind of lost. Also, they make Alexander Skarsgård, who's the main character, pretty unlikable from very early on in the movie, so it's not like you have anyone to root for. The main character does so many crazy things, I can't fathom it. I know you guys don't know me like that. Trust me, your boy, he wouldn't be in that situation. I was gonna make a reference to this point early in the movie where this guy's grilling sausages, and I was gonna say, oh, I'd eat more sausages because Alexander Skarsgård doesn't want to eat more sausages. But then I realized in the context of stuff later on, saying I would eat more sausages, not a good idea. I think the design of those masks are really cool. They kind of remind me of like the BioShock splicers. That was super sick. But yeah, I think the movie just goes too far in some extents to where there's some really just grotesque stuff, even worse than like Art the Clown Terrifier kind of stuff. It's different. It's a different kind of grotesque, but it's still kind of like that. I don't know if I could recommend this movie. But like I said, it's not bad by any means. There are good things and redeeming things about it, and maybe there are people who are way better with that and they'll enjoy this movie a lot more. But for me, No thank you. I would give this movie the rating of freaky as heck and super weird. More movie reviews, check them out. They're all pretty cool, I think. Watch Puss in Boots instead. Puss in Boots is way better.